How are you doing, everyone? In this section, we are going to be looking at software design pattern. Design pattern show you how to build a system with good object-oriented design quality. Knowing the software design pattern is going to show you how to build a software that is easy for you to maintain, and as well knowing the basics object-oriented principle will not make you a good object-oriented designer. A knowledge of software design pattern will allow you to build a reusable, extensible, and maintainable software and application. It's going to show you how to build system with good object-oriented design quality. We have a quite number of patterns through which a software and application can be built. Software design patterns are proven object-oriented experiences. They don't give you code, they give you general solution to design problem. You apply them to your specific application. As we all know, the aim of software development is to provide solution to a problem. Software design patterns are not invented, they are discovered as a principle to address issue in change in software. A change in software will mean all living software so has to undergo changes as time goes on. That's what keeps a software alive. So most of the software design pattern will allow some part of the system to vary independently of all other parts so that they can undergo changes as time requires. You can face the challenges of time, so by undergo some changes in software design pattern. We even try to take what varies in a system and encapsulate it. Software design pattern also provide a shared language that can maximize the value of your communication with other developers. Before the end of this section, we are going to be looking at the use and benefits of software design pattern, the key object-oriented design principles that have to be applied to software design pattern. We are going to show you a walkthrough and example of how one pattern work. Let's dive into it. This is the brief list of software design pattern that's commonly used in production. As you can see on the screen, you have strategy pattern, you have observer pattern, you have decorator pattern, a factory pattern, singleton pattern, command pattern, adapter, package pattern, template method pattern, architect and composite pattern. In the subsequent video, we are going to be showing you all this pattern with an example of how to apply them to your own design problem. So this shows the purpose of good object-oriented design pattern. What do you think if you are to build a system or application so that when we need to change it, you would do so with the least possible impact on the existing code, so that you can spend less time on working code and more making the program do cooler stuff, like adapting to the change in time. So these are the benefits of such a design pattern. The power of shared pattern vocabulary. When you communicate using pattern, you are doing more than just showing info. Shared pattern vocabularies are powerful. When you communicate with other developers or your team using pattern, you are communicating not just a pattern name but a whole set of quality, characteristics and constraints that the pattern represented. Pattern allow you to say more with less. What we mean by this is that when you use the pattern in description, other developers quickly know precisely the design you have in mind. Take for instance now, if you have a design problem and you want to tell other developers your own approach to in solving the problem. So instead of saying I design a family of algorithms, encapsulate each one and make them interchangeable so that the algorithm vary independently from clients that use it. Instead of going through all these values, you can just say I'm going to be using a strategy pattern in solving this problem. Is that not doing more? It's saying less. Talking at pattern level allow you to stay in the design longer. So what we are trying to say here is that talking about software system using pattern allow you to keep the discussion at this design level without having to dive down to the nitty-gritty detail of implementing objects and classes. Shape vocabulary can turbo change your development team. A team with vast in design pattern can move more quickly with less room for misunderstanding. Instead of explaining those details, some people, other developers may misunderstand you, but by going straight, by saying I'm going to be using a particular pattern, you make them to understand you more quickly. So as your team begin to share design ideas and experience in terms of pattern, you will build a community of pattern users. So share vocabulary encourage more junior developers to get up to speed. Your intern or your other junior developers, as they look up to the experienced developers. When senior developers make use of design pattern, junior developers also become motivated to learn them. So you are doing so, you are building a community of pattern user at your organization. Let's move on. Object-oriented principle. No matter what you are trying to do, so these are some of the principles. We are going to be sharing more of it as we go on in the journey. So these three principles, first one said encapsulate what varies, give preference to completion over inheritance, program to interface, not implementation. What we mean by this is going to be discussed as we move on in the tutorial. So in the next video, in the next video we are going to be dealing with software design pattern using strategy pattern. We are going to be sharing an example, then we solve the problem together, so and demonstrate it using any preferred ID of your own. So thanks, see you in the next video. You can click on the subscribe button and click on subscribe button if you want to see more video like this. Click on the notification for you to be aware when the next video is on.